under fractions. We are talking today about rounding mixed numbers. Rounding mixed numbers. For example, if the directions say to round to the nearest whole number. Here we go. Here's my directions. Round to the nearest whole number. Suppose before we round to the nearest whole number, you have to understand what a whole number is. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, what would be a whole number? Lance? How do I know something's a whole number? Whole numbers are, we've got a whole bunch of different names for numbers. Whole numbers, Elijah, are?
Numbers without fractions.
Yes, numbers, whole numbers are numbers without fractions or decimals. Okay, whole numbers are numbers without fractions or decimals. Numbers that have fractions or decimals, let's say I have 3 and 7/8. That is not a whole number. Does anybody know what we call that number? What category of numbers it falls under? Charlie?
Mixed numbers?
Yes, but no. It is a mixed number, I agree, but that's not. The category in our numbering in our system is, Kate? This thing is actually called what we call a rational number. And later on we'll talk more about that. Rational numbers mean numbers that make sense because you can eat 7/8 of a pizza. It's pretty easy to cut a pizza in 8 pieces and eat 7 right there. But today we're talking about taking numbers like 3 and 7/8 and figuring out what it should round to. And obviously your choices are this. Okay, 3 and 7/8 has to fall between the number 3 and the number 4. Okay, and if we draw that out on a number line, we only need the number 3. And here's the number 4. And we know 3 and 7/8 means you cut this line into 8 pieces. And 3 and 7/8 ends up right here. 3 and 7/8. And I'm asking you, when we round, which whole number is it closer to? Is 3 and 7/8 closer to the 3 or closer to the 4? And that one's pretty much a no-brainer. It is, Maddie, closer to
4.
Yeah, so 3 and 7/8 rounds to 4. I don't want to say it equals to 4, but it becomes 4 if you're rounding to the nearest whole number. Now that's an easy one because it's kind of obvious. But what if it was a harder one? What if it was like 16 and, I don't know, 21/35? Okay, first of all, you don't want to have to draw the whole number line thing every time. We know this has to fall between 16 and 17. I really don't feel like cutting that line into 35 pieces. I probably could, I don't know. Does anybody have an easy way to cut something into 35 pieces? I guess I could think it's 33 and then cut it into thirds. And then cut each third into 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That only gives me 33, so I gotta go 2 more. 21/35 would be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. About right there. And probably if you looked at that, what your answer would be 17. I know you know that. But what would be an easier way to tell whether you round up to 17 or keep it at 16? Rather than having to draw all the time, which I'm sure you don't mind doing, but Brooklyn?
Try to find half of the number and then.
Half of which number? Which part of the fraction? How do I know? This is really key right here. I need to know if 21/35 is more or less than half. Because if it was half, half falls exactly in the middle. Okay, I need to know whether it's bigger than a half or less than a half, and how do you know a fraction? How do you know if it's bigger or less than? Drew?
Try to find the half of the denominator.
Right, you look at the denominator, and 35 is a tough one because, you know, it's an odd number, but what is close to what is half of 35? Exactly half of 35 is, Kate?
15.
No, that's half of 30. You're close. Half of 35 is, Isabel? That's a tough one. I picked a tough one. 17 and a half. And I don't like to put fractions in fractions, but you know, since 21 is bigger than that 17 and a half, that means more than half of the fraction is taken up, so this number has to be more than half. Therefore, this dot must be past half, which means it must be closer to 17. And that's it. You need to look at the bottom number and try to figure out what half of it would be. If the top number is more than that, it's going to go there. What if it's exactly that? You know, what if I have 3 and let's say it's 25 over 50? What if the fraction is exactly half? Yeah? Yeah. We've made the call. You know, somebody said, well, if it ends up being exactly half, we are always going to round up. So this would actually end up being 4. Even though it's exactly in the middle, okay, we are going to round that up. So let's look at a couple more examples here. What if we have 6 1/4, 3 2/3, 7 1/8? 7 1/8, 6 3/4, and 7 1/4, did I say? What did I say? 6 1/4. No, 6 3/4. No, 7 8. No, I have that already. 25 3/10. Let's just do that. If I asked you to round those to the nearest whole number, you would tell me that for 7 1/8, Danny, what does 7 1/8 round to?
8.
It does not round to 8. But that's a good guess. It's either 7 or 8. Why is it not 8? The fraction 1/8, is that more or less than a half? Less than a half. If it's less than a half, this number stays the same. It stays a 7. How about 6 3/4, Lainey Kavarik?
7.
Why 7?
Because the top number is bigger than
Yeah, half of 4 would be 2. This is bigger than half, so you have to round up. How about 25 3/10? Kara?
25.
Yes. Why? Because 3/10 has to be smaller than half, because half of 10 is 5. There you are. I told you it was going to be easy.